Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the hidden stories in corporate filings. It looks like Crown Crafts Incorporated is making some changes, and we've got the scoop on what that means for their future. Will it be a smooth transition, or is something else brewing underneath the surface? Stick around to find out and join our Discord community linked in the description below for more exclusive insights. Today we're diving into a recent filing from Crown Crafts Incorporated, a company typically known for its home goods and nursery products. Specifically, we're looking at a current report form 8K, which usually signals a significant event for a company, and in this case it announces a departure within its leadership ranks. This report details the termination of Donna E. Sheridan, who held the position of President and Chief Executive Officer of Nojo Baby and Kids, Incorporated, a subsidiary of Crown Crafts. Incorporated, Miss Sheridan was a named Executive Officer for the parent company, and her role as CEO of Nojo has been ended effective the 27th of October. 2025, she will also be leaving her employment with Nojo altogether on the 30th of November 2025. Now, this is where things get interesting. The filing clarifies that Miss Sheridan's termination is considered without cause, which means she will receive benefits according to her employment agreement. With Nojo, the company refers us to its proxy statement filed in June 2025 for the specifics on these benefits, which would typically include things like severance pay, continued health benefits, and potentially stock options or other compensation. This is pretty standard when an executive is let go without fault on their part. The company is essentially saying it was their decision, not hers, and they will honour the terms of her contract. Crown Crafts is extending its thanks to Miss Sheridan for her contributions to Nojo and wishing her well. This is standard corporate language following an executive departure, but it doesn't tell us much about the underlying reasons beyond the general statement of consolidating internal operations. For context, Crown Crafts Incorporated is a publicly traded company. Their common stock is listed under the ticker symbol CRWS on the Nasdaq Capital Market, and this report is a way for them to inform investors about significant events that could affect the company's management or finances. Looking at the broader picture, this seems like a move to streamline operation within Crown Crafts, potentially by consolidating leadership or functions. A departure of a subsidiary CEO can signal a shift in strategy or structure. For the parent company, it is important to note that while the company states this is for consolidation purposes, the specifics of the separation will be laid out in Miss Sheridan's employment agreement details, which likely involve a financial payout. We will not get those specific numbers here, but the reference to the proxy statement suggests that the market has had some visibility into potential executive severance packages. It is important to remember to look at the bigger picture. When executive changes happen, the reasons for departure can range all the way from simple restructuring, business strategy shifts, disagreements on direction, or even performance issues. Without more information, it is difficult to ascertain the exact cause, but often such announcements are precursors to further strategic realignments of the business. This filing is a bit light on financial details, focusing primarily on the executive change, but the statement about consolidating internal operations could have downstream financial implications. For example, if this consolidation leads to cost savings or operational efficiencies that could positively impact future financial results. On the other hand, if it involves significant severance payouts or restructuring charges, it could have a short-term negative impact on profitability. The key takeaway here is that Crown Crafts is making a leadership change at a subsidiary level and adhering to contractual obligations regarding compensation for the departing executive investors. We'll be watching to see how this consolidation effort plays out and if it leads to any measurable improvements in the company's performance or strategic positioning. So what is my take on this filing? Well, it is a fairly standard 8K announcing an executive departure driven by internal consolidation. It doesn't give us a lot of juicy financial details to sink our teeth into. Unlike some other reports we've reviewed, it's a sign of potential change for the company. But without more information on the specific consolidation strategy or the financial impact of Miss Sheridan's departure, it's hard to say definitively if this is a strength or weakness in the short term. The real indicator will be how Crown Crafts performs in its upcoming financial reports, and whether this move leads to tangible improvements. Alright, that is our breakdown of Crown Crafts Incorporated's latest filing. Do you think this executive change signals a positive or negative direction for the company? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this deep dive valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate insights. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for ongoing discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.